Aquarius rising, there's a total solar eclipse happening in your 7th house of Leo. What will that mean for you specifically? I'm Sook Boy, you're awesome. Let's talk about it. An eclipse is a significant event that can occur, and it tends to unfold over the next 6 months or so. It's symbolic of major beginnings and major endings in our lives. Now, the 7th house is illuminated, the house of the other. This 7th house can often be a house of projection. Anything that we don't identify with ourselves, we tend to project onto the other. So immediately you're asked to focus on important relationships in your life. Now, these can be contracts and agreements with other people, clients, for example, your one-to-one relationships with anyone at work, your boss, authority figures. It can also be your spouse, marriage partners, business partners, so on and so forth. Now, opposing the 7th house is your first house of identity, how you interface with reality. You could call it your field, your first impression. Not really your persona, it's deeper than that. It's basically the helm of the chart, and it serves you. It's your body, it's your vessel, it's your appearance. It's how you get from A to B. You're being asked to stop defining yourself via other people's definition of you or other people's expectations they may place on you. So the question isn't about, did they choose me? It's about, have I chosen what's right for me? Now, some partnerships may naturally come to an end in this time. And honestly, because of other aspects in the chart, I do believe if partnerships do come to an end in this time, I think it would be rather amicable. In fact, it's giving you an opportunity to start new relationships with people you genuinely align with. Or existing relationships, there's somewhat of a restructuring here on how you approach, how you communicate with them. So there is a balance, a healthy balance between giving and receiving. In fact, your true intentions within this relationship could become very clear over the next 6 months. In other words, it's a time to choose clarity over wishful thinking. Aquarius first house is really interesting, as is Pisces first house, but that's a different video. I actually view Aquarius first house as the container, not the content. The drive, the hunger, the emptiness, it moves through you, but you are not necessarily those things. You are the container that holds those concepts, and that is where your power lies. The ability to witness your own life and the lives of others without being consumed by it. What are you still chasing that is actually already inside of you? Leo represents the fire of creation, the need to be seen and the longing to be in the spotlight. But for an Aquarius rising, this isn't about a performance. This is about actually being authentic with yourself. Release the narrative, release the performance, release all those stories. Release the desperate need for some kind of validation from that other person. This one is not about seeking approval from other people whose minds are already made up about you. The ones who speak poorly of you, the ones who took sides, look, they are not the jury. Anyone that smeared your name, excluded you, underestimated you, look, you don't need to validate that relationship anymore. They don't need to witness your growth or your transformation in this time. Stop letting their version of you define who you are. Now, I do need to take a step back here because Jupiter is favorably in this 7th house. So it's actually an opportunity to expand your knowledge about how you relate to others and also bring, the truth into your life when it comes to the types of people you want to engage with. And it is kind of favorable to make a lot of new friends or make new connections in this time. But if your relationships are feeling empty, that's on you, and you need to rebuild, restructure your own identity. That feeling of emptiness, it's not empty. It's not a void. It's a womb, and you're incubating a better version of yourself, an updated, more exclusive version of yourself. This exclusive version of you might be absurd. It might be experimental. It might be left of center, and that's okay. Now, if it's professional or work-related, maybe you've outgrown some of your clients. Maybe you've helped them or tried to help them as best you can, and they are still locked in some kind of arrogant container, and that's not your responsibility. That's not a you problem, that's a their problem. And so therefore, the way you relate to some of your clients or professional relationships could change over the next 6 months as well. Now, along with the Jupiter, it's kind of conjunct Mercury, and that's opposing Pluto. And so there can be some pretty interesting conversations here. Unspoken power dynamics or unspoken betrayal that you're aware of or they're aware of, and this could come to light in this time. But thankfully, this opposition is forming an easy opposition down to Uranus in your 5th house of Gemini. Now, this is really favorable for problem solving. And it's genuinely a really intellectual, exciting, creative place for Uranus to be. And it really does open the door for some very out-of-the-box, unconventional relationships or collaborations to take place. Especially if you're saying goodbye to particular collaborators, professional relationships or romantic relationships. I wouldn't be concerned. New people are about to enter your life. or pre-existing relationships get somewhat of a refresh. Now, Saturn is in your third house and it hasn't got a lot of patience, so beware of your tone in this time. And you could also be on the receiving end of a pretty cold, serious tone as well. Just saying. Whilst at the same time, the Saturn in the third house is helping. And so that's why I think if you were to have conflict or resolve old issues, it will end amicably. This Saturn is supporting a more practical or productive approach to conversations. But just understand, you're not seeking permission in this time and you do not need universal approval. Again, Jupiter and Mercury kind of dancing with one another in this seventh house. Jupiter and Mercury actually rule your financial access. So it could be, negotiations over debts or wages or how you want resources to be distributed, potentially even the intimacy within some of those more close sexual relationships, let's say. These are all up for discussion and up for a reset if need be. But again, the Saturn is really impatient, but it's desperately trying to build something. Build up the new settings of your mind. Build up a new way of relating, restructuring old relationships or forming completely new relationships. But most importantly, hold space for something new. You are incubating a new version of yourself in this time. Set boundaries. Don't allow people to disrespect those boundaries in this time. Now, when it comes to authority figures, you could see your boss, or you might even notice some very popular people in your life are dethroned in this time. Overall, I do really see this eclipse in the next 6 months as a net positive, as long as you're focused on you. Not in a narcissistic way. Again, you are not the drive, you are not the hunger, you are not the emptiness. You are the space that holds and contains that consciousness. Enjoy. Now, as a thank you for watching this entire video, please feel free to send me a DM. I'll send you a coupon code for 30 Australian dollars off my natal and transit readings. We can walk you through the next 18 months as the nodes move through this really important area of the chart, that relationship access. Anyway, hope that helps. Okay, bye.